Hello everyone, welcome to Season 9, Episode 3 of I See Bad Movies. Oh my god! So I'm actually quoting the movie we're going to watch there.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I did. I quoted the movie a little bit. It's a really classic line. As everyone will know, by the way, everyone, I am joined by the... I can't say this.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say the little goblin herself, Emma Spicer.
You're so mean. Have you even said who you are?
I'm Dave Keane. Everyone knows these dulcet tones. Oh, that dickhead's talking.
Little goblin?
Yeah, I'm
been
sorry.
so insulted in my life.
Yeah, never been.
Well, I have actually, because I've known you for years.
Yeah, you have. And I've probably said worse.
Yeah.
Although, no, I don't know if I have. I think that's probably the worst worst I've ever... You know, I did call you hastily put together in the Frankenhooker episode.
You did, yeah.
Which is quite bad.
Which is quite true most evenings.
And maybe I'll put that on a poll. Which is the worst? Which is the worst insult I've given you?
Yeah.
Hastily put together or the little goblin?
I think Little Goblin wins.
I think it wins, doesn't it? Yeah.
Because hastily put together, at least I'm still put together.
Yes.
Even if in a rush. But Goblin, that's, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
No.
So, obviously, everyone, as you're aware from the title of the episode, this week we're watching a movie called Troll 2, right?
Even though
it's not actually
it's not a sequel.
It's not a sequel. And the monsters in it aren't trolls either.
No.
Which I find absolutely amazing. Now, before we start talking about the film, I just have some really good news, Emma.
Yes, we do, don't we?
We do. We'd like to say a great, big, massive Patreon new member welcome to the wonderful Miranda Bertold, who was a Patreon member long ago and has come back.
Oh, okay.
God bless you, Miranda.
Yeah, thanks for coming back.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming back. And I will also say, Miranda is really lovely. I've talked to her a lot on like TikTok and Insta and that as well. But she's very, very funny. And I would absolutely recommend to go and follow her on TikTok. Mom's a Nerd, Miranda.
Okay.
Absolutely. She's very fun. She's expat US living in, well, maybe not expat, but she's US citizen living in Prague.
Yeah.
Or Czech Republic. And it makes me miss the Czech Republic seeing her videos, not going to lie. Because I used to go there a lot. But yeah, go and follow her on there if you want to just see a daily slice of life of an American living in Prague and probably have an existential crisis of ever having to go back to America, I imagine.
I will check her out, definitely.
But yes, thank you very much, Miranda. Welcome back. It's lovely to have you with us, enjoying all those extra special Flipside episodes.
Spread the word in Prague. We love to be international.
Yes, I know. Maybe you can convince some of my colleagues out in Prague to sign up. They just won't listen to me. As everybody knows from the title of the episode,
yes,
we're watching Troll 2, right? And also my pal John Byron has been on and on and on at me about watching this movie.
Okay. And
obviously this season's all about classic monsters. And what's more classic than a troll?
Or is it a troll? It's not
or
a troll.
Goblin.
But a goblin.
Yeah. It's an interesting movie, isn't it? Absolutely a very interesting. But would you like me to tell you the synopsis of Troll 2?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's not a very long synopsis. A vacationing family discovers that the entire town they are visiting is inhabited by goblins disguised as humans who plan to eat them. There you go.
I mean, the name of the town's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it?
It is. They visit the town of Nilbog. And as you can imagine... And
what's Nilbog?
It's... Oh my god, it's Goblin backwards!
Da, da, da.
This is a classic film. If you love bad movies, you're gonna know this film.
Yeah.
You're gonna know it, and you're gonna know little bits from it. And I've never seen it, but I've seen lots of little bits of it. I've
never seen little bits of it.
Oh, really? So
no.
I've even seen like a documentary about it. Well, not like a documentary, like a YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of a short.
Which is the modern version of a documentary.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, this movie, Troll 2. One, as we said, it's not a sequel. It's capitalising on the popularity of a movie that was called Trolls.
Yeah.
And it's not got trolls in it. It was written by an Italian couple who didn't speak English very well.
Yeah.
And even then, like, it was like, here's the lines as written, and the cast said to them, oh, by the way, these lines are a little bit weird. Can we change them a little bit? And they're like, no. You must say them as written.
So it has been translated like literally. So, you know, when you translate a language, if you translate it literally, it doesn't sound right. Some of the words get moved around, don't they, in a sentence? And sort of the translation, you have to sort of, you really need a person to translate it rather than like AI or a computer to do it. Like if you Google Translate, it's never going to be as accurate as it.
Rather than
and also
if I tried to write a script in Spanish and just looked at the dictionary and said, "Oh, that's the word."
Well, I can't do past or present tense, so mine would just be like, "We go to the shop," not "let's go" or "let's go to the shop tomorrow," or "we went to the shop last night." Like it would be, "We go to the shop."
Mañana.
We like apples.
Manzana. I remember that
it
much.
It would just be like, it's just, and that does come across, I think.
It definitely does. So I'm really, really excited to watch this film because it's a classic, and I now that I know that you don't know anything about it and you've never seen it, I'm excited for you to experience even some of the stuff that I've seen about it. I really am. Enough preamble, Emma. Shall we flip the coin and decide if we're going to be focused on the good bits or the bad bits? I'm so nervous flipping this coin now.
Well, because you threw it in your face one week.
I threw it in my face one week. The other time I flipped it, it didn't flip. It just flew forward.
Oh, yeah, it did, didn't it? It just landed on the table.
Okay, so let's do it.
Well, you caught it.
I caught it on my wrist. What do you think? Good or bad?
Good.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're focusing on the good bits in the main episode.
Okay.
So if you want to hear the bad bits about Troll 2, you can do like Miranda and join us over on the Patreon at www.patreon.com/ICBadMovies.
Rolls off the tongue.
It really does, doesn't it? I nearly forgot our own link. Right. So have I? No, I keep doing this. I keep thinking I've forgotten something because we're not picking the cards anymore.
We're not picking categories. We're just going with what
just going to watch
suits.
It and talk about what suits the movie. So Emma, are you ready to go and watch Troll 2?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Welcome back, Emma. Welcome back.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, wasn't it just? I'm so glad we watched that. It's terrible.
It's some movies we watch, I think, oh, is that a bad movie? Because some of them are actually quite good.
Yeah.
But this was definitely a bad movie.
Yes. But it was
exactly what we're looking for.
Yes. It's stupidly bad.
Good bad movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making any sense, but some movies are just good. Like Snakes on a Plane. It's just good. I felt a bit of a cheat with that one because it was just brilliant. But we're getting away with those by saying it's the concept, because the concept is ridiculous. But this movie is like, okay, this is exactly what we're looking for, is a bad movie that makes us laugh, that has plenty of action in it.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
Plenty of stupid things that happen as well. Plenty of things that make you just go, what?
The more ridiculous, the better.
Yeah, and there was loads of that in this film.
Yeah.
Absolutely loads of it. I mean, there's a ghost granddad. There's a guy standing in a plant pot for about 20 minutes. It's just...
I've got that down as that's a great scene at one point with him in the plant pot.
It's so funny. Anyway, right, so let's stop the jibber jabber. Let's just get cracking into this film, shall we? Let's do it. So going through the film. So the film opens with a granddad telling a story to a kid.
Yes.
A bedtime story, a la kind of Princess and the Princess and the Bride, kind of the Princess and the Bride, the Princess Bride. The Princess Bride, yeah. Yeah. Why would I say the Princess and the Bride?
Princess
Very
and
odd.
the Pea, is what we think.
Maybe I was getting that stuck in my head because of all the vegetables in the movie.
True.
But it's very much like that. So this is a granddad telling our main character Joshua the story of these evil creatures known as goblins roaming the world, and they force or trick humans into consuming poisoned food. And this poisoned food will turn them into the goblins' favourite type of food, vegetables. Literally turning humans into vegetables, and then the goblins would eat them. He tells them the story of this fella called Peter who met a beautiful woman.
Which I don't understand, because why would they not just eat vegetables? Why go to all the trouble of turning a human into a vegetable when there are vegetables available?
That's such a good point. It's such a good point.
It sounds like a lot of work when you could just get a vegetable and eat that.
It really is. So when the people who wrote this movie, when they got the idea for it, when a lot of their friends suddenly became vegetarians.
Yes.
And I think their idea was, what if humans became plants and there was something that ate that?
Yeah.
Rather than, and I think that's not what came across though. It was just literally they're turning people into vegetables, but actually what they're doing is they're turning them into human vegetables and can be eaten, and like instead of meat, they're eating vegetable people.
But is it still classed as vegetation if you've turned a human into it? Because a human is meat.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it does, because you've killed a human. That's like saying, oh yeah, I slaughtered this cow,
but I'm just going to eat the grass out of his stomach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love me some half-digested cud.
It's okay that I killed the cow, because all I've eaten is the grass.
Yeah.
It's nonsense.
Yeah, it is absolute nonsense. So it's like maybe they're not vegan, they're just vegetarian.
On that note, can I just... I'm sorry, I'm going
to
intervene, but...
That's all right.
And you'll hate me for dragging this episode out, but did you watch The Island with Bear Grylls? Did you ever watch that?
No, I haven't.
So there was a series of that, and Pete Wicks, I don't know if you know who he is. He's from one of the reality TV shows.
Right. Is he the guy that won Celebrity Big Brother? Is that?
I'm not sure.
Does he
I don't
have
watch Big Brother.
Tourette's? Is that him?
No.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different Pete. Okay.
No, this guy is... He did Strictly recently as well.
No.
Anyway, he was on the island. And did you know the concept of the...
Yeah, you've got to survive.
So he literally drops these celebrities off at an island for a month, I think.
Okay.
And they get obviously survival skill training before they go.
Yeah.
How to filter water and how to kill and skin an animal and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they are really left to their own devices. So they have to find a water source. They have to find food. There are animals. He said there's enough on that island for them to survive. There's like, there's vegetation and there's a few animals on the island and stuff. So there's enough to live on. They can fish, stuff like that. Anyway, Pete is a vegetarian or a vegan. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he's a vegan or vegetarian, but he doesn't eat meat.
Okay.
But all of the rest of them do, and they are starving. They've been on this island for, I don't know if it was a week or two by the time this had happened.
Yeah.
But they drop weight like ridiculously quickly because they're just not eating. Yeah. So they might find like a coconut or like some little berries or something, or limpets and things like that, but they are not having a decent meal for days on end. So they found this pig and they were like, let's kill the pig and eat it. That's good, some good eating there for all of us. There's quite a few of them. So they're like, if we can capture that pig and we can kill it, we've got a decent meal in our stomach.
Yeah.
And they're all like, I'm talking, skin and bone. Like they're just so skinny, just so quickly.
Yeah.
And so they're all starving, and they capture this pig and they put a thing around its neck, like they tie a bit of rope around its neck and tie it to a tree. And then they have this big whole debate about this pig, right? Mm-hmm. And Pete's going, we should not kill the pig. I'm not happy with killing the pig. I don't want anyone to eat the pig. Like, that pig is an animal. It's a living thing. We shouldn't kill it. Well, the whole time they're having this debate, in the meantime, this pig has tried to get free and it's wrapped itself round and strangled itself, right? It's twisted the rope so much that it's strangled itself and it's died. So it's killed itself, but obviously they kind of tied it up. So it's, whose fault is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the pig's dead.
Oh no!
So
poor pig.
The rest of them are like,
just to feed some bloody celebrities that have gone there and starved themselves on purpose.
Inadvertently, we've killed this pig.
Yeah,
it's dead now. So should we just eat it? Argument over, kind of thing. Yeah. Because we're arguing over killing the pig. Now it's killed itself because of our own, it's their fault. But it's actually dead. So should we just eat it? And Pete is still like, no, it's still God's creature and it's blah, blah, and we shouldn't eat it. They send this pig off onto like a raft out into the sea and don't eat it. And you're just sitting there as a viewer thinking, they're starving. Everyone else eats meat apart from him. And you've just let a perfectly good meal drift off into the sea.
I mean, it's like, they've literally wasted. The thing is,
what would you do in that situation? I think I'd really advocate for eating the pig. It's dead anyway.
They've wasted a life.
You've already killed it. It's dead anyway.
And
he was saying it's really disrespectful to then eat it, and I'm like, it's dead anyway. Yeah. And you're starving on an island.
But I mean, like for me, I would have just said, "I'm sorry, Pete, but I'm not a vegetarian."
Yeah.
And
none of the rest of us are. And we're starving.
Absolutely fine with slaughtering my own meal because I think ultimately, if I'm eating meat, I've had some hand in that animal's death
exactly.
anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't want to have, I know, like, if I don't pick up a pack of sausages in the shop, I know that hasn't stopped that animal from being slaughtered for market. But
also, if there's no demand for it, there wouldn't be so much, there wouldn't be so many animals killed. So by eating meat, we are contributing to killing animals because, there's that demand for it and we're buying it. And so then they kill more animals, don't they?
If I'm starving.
If I'm on an island, I'm starving, and there's a pig that's dead anyway. I'm eting the pig.
Yeah, and I'd be sourcing the apple to put in its mouth as I roast it over a spit.
I would actually be crying if I was there and I was thinking, we've actually got a meal for today.
I even
and you're
think,
sending it off.
I even think the fact that animal died while they were umming and ahhing about it.
Yes, it's like fate. It's like, there you go, God's saying, have the pig.
Yeah, but it's also a little bit like, this animal died because of your stupidity.
Yeah, so the least you can do is not waste that meat.
Yeah, don't waste it. I'm sure that pig would have lived a happy life without you. But
I do get why people are vegetarian because I know the way we treat animals is not right.
Yes,
but
it absolutely isn't.
But the nature of the world is that animals eat other animals. Animals are food.
You are not going to make everyone into a vegetarian or a vegan. It's not going to happen.
No, and
I do.
I think if you're on an island, it's a bit different because you're not treating that pig badly all its life. You're not giving that pig a shit life and then slaughtering it and eating it. Yeah. That pig has lived freely. But if we were living like that, if you were living like on a desert island, you would kill an animal to eat it, and other bigger animals would kill smaller animals to eat them. Yeah, they would. So that in that case, I don't think it's necessarily a cruel thing. I think it's cruel when we do.
Circle of life.
Yeah, it's not a cruel thing. It's nature.
It's cruel the way the animal died. Yeah. It's cruel the way that pig died.
Yes, that is, but that wasn't their intention of killing it like that.
No, of course not.
Yeah, that's not very nice. That it's
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can. I don't know if I could say. It doesn't matter if it wasn't their intention. Their own stupidity caused cruelty. Yeah. And I think that's worse than just a clean death for an animal. Much worse. But honestly, I mean, I'm a meater and I would just eat it. All my life, pretty much every single day of my life.
Especially if I was starving and I'd been there a couple of weeks and I hadn't eaten. And your stomach is just shrinking and you're losing weight like nobody's business and you are just malnourished. I'd eat it.
One thing I would say is for this Pete fella, I mean, courage in his convictions, even facing absolute hunger, he didn't break his convictions and he was like, you know what, I'm not eating it.
But I feel like that was very much his
it is
beliefs and his I feel that was wrong because and they all felt like they had to go along with it, whereas I know full well there were plenty of people in that group that were like, I really want to eat this pig. But they felt it was disrespectful. He'd kicked up such a fuss about it that they all felt like they couldn't. And I think, fair enough, if you're a vegetarian, you don't eat the pig. But if that pig's already died now, we're just wasting good meat because of one person's principles. And the rest of them are probably thinking, watching that go drift off must have been awful when you're that hungry. To watch that potential meal just drift off.
Do you know what I'd have done? I'd have been like, I'd have secretly tied a rope under the water to it.
Yeah, and then pulled it back later.
Put it back later.
When he's asleep.
But what I'd have done, I'd been like, well, you know what? We really should set it on fire, and then I'd have cooked it while it's over there, and then pulled it back in. It's like, salted ham.
Yeah.
The salted pork is particularly fine. Sorry, I'm quoting Lord of the Rings there.
Oh, okay.
But
it's madness.
Yeah, it is madness. And what is absolute madness, I think, is obviously just bringing it back to the film, is this idea that they give this poison food to turn a human into a vegetable to eat them.
Yeah.
And later in the film, you hear the goblins in human form going, "Oh, they're eating these humans. They eat meat, and it's disgusting." You're eating humans.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if they're eating poison food, is that poison not then in their bodies for the trolls when they eat them?
Well, I think...
Or it's just that makes them mush down into vegetables?
I don't know goblin like physiology
Sorry,
enough
goblins,
to
not
know.
trolls.
Yeah. I mean, trolls might be poisoned by it too. You don't know.
We don't know because there's no trolls in this movie.
No, there aren't any trolls in this movie. They trolled us with the fact there aren't any trolls.
Didn't they?
Lies. It's all lies. So yes. So anyway, this he's telling the story of this fella called Peter who was running through the woods being chased by goblins. He meets a beautiful woman who says, "Oh, come with me," and because he's got like a stab wound in him, and he goes, "Okay, come with me and I'll look after you." And she feeds him some food, and that's the poison food that makes him there you go. And Peter dies, and obviously the grandfather Seth is informing Joshua of all this. Now, meanwhile, Joshua's sister Holly gets a visit from her boyfriend Elliot. Okay.
Yeah.
And Elliot is a bit of a waster by the sounds of it. Her family, her parents clearly don't like him for some reason. Well, I think because they don't think he's good enough for their daughter. Okay. But what's really... She accuses him of being a homosexual because he spends a lot of time with his male friends.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
And it's
which doesn't mean he's homosexual, but he has
yeah.
got his friends with him all the time.
Yeah, he does.
But then he's a young boy, isn't he? So you are going to be with your mates.
Yeah, you hang out with your mates. I mean, they're teenagers. Yeah, I know. But also, like, if you're a teenager, me as a teenager, I would gladly dump my mates to go and see my girlfriend. I'd be like, sorry guys, there's just something that
you can't.
This person provides that you just can't. No matter how much I ask them. But no, you know, I don't think if any of my friends back then said, you know what, I'm not going to hang out with you, I'm going to go see my girlfriend, I wouldn't be like, oh man.
Yeah, well, it depends if you're single.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So if you're single and you're bored, you're like, well, hang out with us.
Yeah, and these guys are definitely single.
Yeah,
they're definitely single. They are Brett, Arnold, and Drew. So we've got Elliot, Brett, Arnold, and Drew. I'm just getting our character base all together here. So, however, she tells Elliot that they're going away on their family holiday to a town called Nilborg.
Yeah.
And what they're actually doing is they're going on like a family swap. A family from Nilborg is going to come and stay at their home, and they're going to stay on the farm that this family inhabit in Nilborg.
Yeah.
And she offers for Elliot to come with them. And it's like, wait a second, your mum and dad hate him, so why would he suddenly be okay to come on holiday with you? And she's all excited about it because, they'll love it that you're coming, blah, blah, blah. But she does put a condition on this.
Yes.
That he cannot bring his friends. It's just got to be him. Cut to the next morning. They're in the car driving, and the dad's annoyed because they've wasted 2.5 hours waiting for Elliot to turn up.
And he doesn't turn up.
Holly's upset, obviously. She's saying, we're going to be late. This family's waiting for us. They're going to show us around, and then they're going to leave and come to ours, and it's all put us, blah, 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 out of time. However, when they're driving on the way to Nilborg, they pass Elliot in broken down in a camper van with his 3 friends.
Which she told him not to bring.
Yep. So he was bringing them anyway and thinking, I'll just meet you there. That'll be absolutely fine. Okay. So she gets a bit annoyed and flips him off from the car. Yeah. Which, I don't know if you want to talk about this later, but she's miles away. They cut to his view of the car. I did make a note of that, yeah. I won't say any more then. She flips him off and, there's no way he saw it. But, yeah, we'll go into those kinds of things, absolutely. So, while they're driving, Joshua has a dream that in the car his family are actually goblins in disguise, preparing to eat him, turn him into this this monster, and he's all covered in leaves and branches, and he's turning into a plant. But he wakes up only to see Seth again, his granddad, by the side of a road with a road sign saying "Go back" or
something like
stop,
that. I can't remember exactly what, but yeah,
kind of thing. And he gets the family to pull over, and he runs back, and he's like, "Hey, granddad, blah 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 blah," and he's like, "Joshua, you've got to stop them from going. You've got to stop them from going." Anyway, kind of cut to it. Joshua is like, "Oh, wait a second, that's not granddad. It's just a hitchhiker." So
he sees his granddad.
Yeah, he sees
everywhere,
his granddad everywhere, and it's like, he's just.
But his granddad's dead.
His granddad's dead, but he's seeing his granddad, and his granddad is giving what portents of doom, shall we say. But Seth at this point tells Joshua that their holiday destination is in fact the kingdom of the goblins that he mentioned in his story, and urges him to convince his parents to turn back. However, the family don't listen to Joshua, and they arrive at Nilbog. Now, in the meantime, they arrive at Nilbog. The family that meet him go, "You're late." Okay, and they get into the house. Oh, no, sorry, I'm kind of jumping forward a little bit. In the meantime, one of Elliot's friends goes for a walk and meets a woman being pursued by goblins. And yeah, I know. And
being pursued by I've been pursued by a couple of goblins in my time.
Oh God, I hope I've not been a goblin pursuing someone myself. Oh no. Fuck's sake. Choose the bear, not the goblin. Where the hell was I? Oh, that.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
No. It's okay. So, who is the kid? Arnold. That's it. Arnold is the fella's name. And she's being chased by these goblins, and he's like, "Oh no, let's just try and talk them out of it." And he's like, "Hey, you better leave them alone." Anyway, one of them stabs him with a spear. It's like, of course. No, wallop. Take that.
Yeah.
So anyway, they decide to run. They run away, and they enter a house. And we find out. We ultimately find out that this woman is the goblin sort of druid leader queen. Okay, her name is Credence Leonore Gielgud. And she uses the Stonehenge magic stone to give the goblins power, okay? But Credence dupes our lady and Arnold into drinking a magic potion, which, for some reason, causes the woman to disintegrate into a puddle of, like, vegetable matter that is eaten by the goblin. And Arnold is turned into, or morphed into, a plant, ultimately, okay?
Yeah, so it's inconsistent, isn't it? So some people mush down and some people turn into half a plant, half person.
It's odd.
Yeah.
It is odd. So Joshua is... We come back to our family, and Joshua's looking into the car mirror, hoping to try and contact his granddad again. Because his granddad contacts him through mirrors and through hitchhikers. I mean, I don't know what the parameters are for... granddad's visitations.
Just there doesn't seem to be any. It's just kind of he turns up when it's convenient to the plot.
It really is. But he only succeeds in noticing in the reflection of the car window he sees the town name of Nilbog.
Yes, in the mirror, and then
backwards, and he realizes, oh my God, Nilbog! It's goblin backwards. So he concludes that the area must be their kingdom, and he skateboards off and finds himself in an abandoned church where he sees all of the humans of the town having like a sermon espousing the evils of eating meat. However, unfortunately, his skateboard kind of falls down a hole in the ceiling of this church, and he's noticed, and he's pulled into the basement where they're having this service, and they attempt to feed him some of this poisoned, spiked food in the form of ice cream. But his dad, Michael, walks in. And hears the commotion. His dad is what are the parents' names? I can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember. I've just put mum and dad on my notes.
Diane, and I think it must be Diane and Michael. I think Diana and Michael. That's the parents' names. So his dad Michael comes in, finds or realizes what's going on, and he takes Joshua out and gets him out of there. But the family return to their home and find out that the village has actually prepared a surprise party to make up for the kind of the misunderstanding earlier, and I'm doing air quote. Joshua runs upstairs trying to contact his granddad, but is instead confronted by Credence in goblin form, this goblin druid queen. The granddad appears, chops her hand off with an axe, which makes her retreat back to her house. And again, in the meantime, Credence deals with Elliot's one remaining friend, Brent, by drowning him in popcorn, seducing him, having kind of sexy time with him, and with a corn on the cob, which I don't think I'll ever get out of my mind.
I've got that down as a scene.
And drowns him in popcorn. So I can't remember how all of his friends die, actually. I've only just watched it. Arnold becomes a plant.
Mm-hmm.
The other fella, I think, becomes a plant as well. And then this last one is drowned in popcorn. Anyway, I can't quite remember exactly how they all die. Credence kills this last one by drowning him in popcorn. So we've got in the house, after this sort of surprise party, there's a weird bit where they're all the kind of goblins are outside the house, and the family are holed up in the house trying to stop the goblins getting to them. And they're all just kind of like waiting out there, holding guns and like just standing there doing nothing. They could overpower them quite easily, but they don't. I don't know why they don't.
Yeah.
But they want to get Grandad Seth back because they suddenly start to go, actually, maybe Joshua knows a little bit more about this, because maybe Grandad Seth is actually real. It's not an imaginary thing in response to the granddad dying recently.
Yeah.
So Joshua, who's alive at this point, Elliot, who's alive, Holly, Mum and Dad, they hold a seance to communicate with Seth, right?
Yeah.
And he tells them that he's basically got 10 minutes before he disappears from the mortal world permanently. And that's when the goblins gain entry to the house, and somehow Joshua is transported to the Goblin Queen's home.
Yeah.
He just vanishes from where he is and appears there. Now, the rest of the family go upstairs chased by the goblins. Grandpa Seth tells Joshua that he has to put his hands on this Stonehenge magic stone and focus in order to defeat the goblins, and also gives him this bag that he can only open if he's in mortal danger. Okay? Now, the goblins break into the house, and the family... So the goblins break into the house, the family escape and make their way to Credence's chapel where this stone is, and Joshua opens the bag, revealing a double-decker bologna sandwich, right? Which he uses. He eats the sandwich, making his body poisonous to the goblins because he stuffed himself so full of actual meat. Okay. And he tells the whole family to hold on to this magic stone, and that destroys Credence and the goblins. Okay? Because they hold this stone, and their own goodness destroys the magic. Again, a real letdown, not going to lie, that one. And that's the end of the film, effectively. But we have kind of like an ending scene where the family's returned home. However, we see that Joshua's mother is eating food from the refrigerator. And this food, unknown to the family, has been poisoned by the family of goblins who took over their home during their exchange in the country.
Yeah.
And during the epilogue, the mum is killed by consuming spiked food left in her house. Joshua discovers her corpse being eaten by the goblins. Joshua screams in horror. End the movie.
Yeah.
But there's so much more that happens. That's the general gist of the film.
Which you did pretty quickly there, apart from my Pete Wicks side story.
That's all right. Well, these things happen. But that's ultimately the gist of the film.
Yeah.
There's not a lot more than happens in it, apart from just like what happens in those individual scenes being just like, what the hell is going on? This film's got it all. It's got creepy, ghostly granddads. It's got people being turned into plants.
Yeah.
It's got slapstick comedy because of that. It's got over-the-top performances from clearly people who live in a small town in America who have just been said, hey, do you want to be in a film? And gone, yeah, okay. And because not a single person looks like a movie star. Not one single person looks like an actor or extra. They literally just like people pulled in off the street. So there's so much going on here.
Yeah.
But it sounds so stupid, and just talking about what happens in the film doesn't do it justice. It doesn't do it justice. So I know we're focusing on the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Now I've got a good death. I've got a good line. I've got a couple of good lines. And I've got a good scene as well.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start?
I've got costume, actor, prop, scene.
I think I didn't write down a good.
effects.
I think I didn't write down a good prop because I knew
That I'd written.
that you'd written the prop that I was thinking about as well.
Should we start
and
with
special effects as well. Yeah, there were good special effects in this film. I thought some not so good, but for a cheap 1990s movie, it was still quite interesting. So yeah, where do you want to start?
costume?
Yeah, okay. Let's go with your good costume.
So I actually thought I've called them the troll goblins because are they goblins? Are they trolls? Who knows?
Who knows?
I think they do. Although they look ridiculous, they also at the same time look exactly how you'd expect them to look. Do you think?
Yeah.
If someone says to you goblin, that's how I'd expect them to look.
So I've got a very specific view of goblins, which are not like the goblins in this
Oh,
film
okay.
because of fantasy stuff and Dungeons and Dragons and Lord of the Rings, that sort of thing. That gives you a different view of what goblins look like. But
all right, I guess they look more like what you
you
think
were-
a troll would look like.
But
I don't know.
if you didn't have that background knowledge, I think
Yeah.
if you imagined a small creature from the forest,
Yeah.
you wouldn't go with green pointy eared kind of thing.
No.
You'd be like, oh, it's a nasty looking foresty kind of
I mean,
animal.
they are.
Yeah.
Well, also, what I like about the costumes is they are clearly like sort of rubber masks that are way too big for their heads. So they look ridiculous. And a lot of them you can't really see in the eyes because it's just a black big gap where the eyes would be because these masks just clearly don't fit the heads of the people wearing them. Which I love because, you know, it's a bad movie. So we're looking for things like that. But yeah, I just thought they looked exactly how I'd imagine them to look. And I also thought the witch, they made her mouth look disgusting. They made her mouth look
really
awful.
Did.
It gets worse throughout, but it's like, it looks diseased and like how you'd imagine somebody with like, you know, some sort of horrible infectious disease to
and
have.
there's points where it gets worse and it gets nastier
it just
and nastier
looks
looking.
like, you know, you'd catch something if you went near her.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do make it look
absolutely.
good.
I do also have a good actor, by the way. I forgot to mention that in this film too. But that Credence, the Goblin Queen / Druid leader or whatever she was, they made her look suitably awful and terrible at some points.
Yeah.
But when she's seducing the feather, I was also kind of like, oh, va-va-voom.
Don't forget the manky lips.
Don't forget the manky lips. It's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Have that in your mind when she's looking all nice.
I might be thinking, oh, wow, but also, I think you need to get some sort of swabbing done, my dear. Yeah, there's something not right there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she looked,
and the person doing the swabbing definitely needs to wear gloves. Yeah.
Maybe double gloves.
One of my friends actually worked in a sexual health clinic at one point in her life.
Okay.
And this always makes me laugh. But while she was telling a guy that he had like chlamydia or gonorrhea or something like that, he was chatting her up and asking her out on a date. And you just think the audacity. I'm literally sitting here telling you you've got an STI and you're asking me out on a date. Some men's egos know no bounds, do they?
Honestly, what the fuck is up with that?
What is wrong with you?
I think if I ever had an STI, I mean, they happen.
Bold as
right?
brass, just sat there asking like.
But
out.
I think if I was at the stage of having to go to a clinic, I'd think
if
I'd be
I
like,
know full well that you've got an STI because I've just tested you for it and told you it, I'm not going on a date with you.
No.
Sorry.
No. Oh,
I've just seen your...
I'm sorry. I've left my prophylactic at home. You don't mind if? Yes, absolutely. Why am I even here? Did you drug me? What's going on?
Honestly, the cheek of it. I was just when she told me that, I was like, what? Who is that bold?
Who is that bold? Who is that? Men are that.
Yes.
Bold. Men are that.
Yeah, a woman would not do that. A woman would be holding her head in shame, going, "Oh my goodness!" Especially if it was like a male doctor. I'm sure it would probably be a female, but I guess my friend was female. She was dealing with a male.
Yeah. I think it's just
But yeah, if that was, especially if that was a male doctor, if I was sitting there thinking, I know we both know I've got gonorrhea. This is really embarrassing. Like. But to sit there and ask.
I tell you what, though, right? For the audacity of
Crazy.
literally saying to the sexual health nurse that you're working with, and you've just been told you've got chlamydia or whatever. You've got
I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of like
STI.
Yeah.
And if you've still got the balls to ask somebody out on a date, you've just got to give that guy the clap.
Listen, I can tell how he's got it in the first place because he's obviously not shy.
Yeah, he's not shy. He's just be like, he's one of those guys that are like, you know what? I'll ask 100 people, and if one person says yes,
it's madness.
Result,
it's
isn't
madness.
it? My God. Do you know what? Ask that girl out, everyone. Ask that guy out. Just shoot your shot. Just go for it.
Don't shoot your shot when you're sitting there with an STI.
No, definitely not.
When she knows full well you've got one. Let's just, let's just sometimes read the room.
I think I'm broken a little bit now.
I mean, you'd lose respect for her if she did say yes, wouldn't you? Would you?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're sitting there with an STI and she's like, yeah, sure. I'd be like, really?
I think, what was he going to do? Turn around if she said yes, he'd go, I was just kidding.
Yeah. But
10 years later, happily married, 4 kids. This was all just a joke. How
I'll
did we
never
get
get over how arrogant some people are.
It's mad, isn't it?
You just wouldn't, would you? Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, she loved that job as well. She said she loved it.
I mean, maybe would it be better if he said, you got any single friends?
Yeah, because I'm not going to tell them about the STI, am I?
Well, she can.
Oh, yes, she actually can't, can she? Because confidentiality.
Patient.
That's true.
Patient STI nurse confidentiality and privilege, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, yeah. What would you do in that situation if you met that guy in a bar? Yeah. If you were out for the night and one of your friends was getting chatted up and you're like, oh, I recognise him from the clinic. I just said to him he's got chlamydia or something.
You can't say.
You're actually not allowed to say, I reckon if you had a few drinks, you'd be like, steer clear. And they know where you work. So they're like, oh, okay. No more needs to be said.
Yeah. You don't have to say specifically.
If my friend who works in the sexual health clinic is putting me off a guy, I'm gonna put 2 and 2 together. I'm not going there.
I like to think I'd be that smart.
Yeah.
So I said, no, David, don't. But I'd also probably not put 2 and 2 together and be like, what do you mean? Yeah. I'm sure she's. She looks lovely. Sure they're fine. Yeah. She looks lovely.
I'm sure it's just Yeah. It's madness.
That is amazing. It is
mad, isn't it?
It is mad. I'm not even impressed.
No.
It's not like one of those things. You know
Shocked.
what? That's actually quite impressive that you would have
impressive.
the balls. It's not impressive.
It's not impressive. It's just really bad.
Yeah.
It's just madness.
I think you said it right. Who has the audacity?
Yeah.
It's audacity.
It is, isn't it?
Speaking of audacity, that's what we're using to record this episode about Trolls 2, Emma.
Seamless link there.
Seamless link. We are available for sponsoring Audacity, by the way, even though you're completely free.
So, did you want to go in next with your good actor?
Yeah, I will. I want to give a shout out to our Goblin Queen, who is an actress called Deborah Reed, playing Credence Leonore Gielgud. She's brilliant. She's absolutely unhinged as the Goblin Queen, and she is hamming her part up non-stop. There's not a single moment on that when she's on screen that she is not stealing the whole show. You know what it's like when you watch a bad movie. You can tell people are just like so woodenly saying their lines that they're just there for the paycheck.
Oh look, there's a goblin. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh my God, he's going to eat me. And that sort of thing. But she's acting her socks off. Yeah. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And this, I'm not saying she's the best actress because I was a bit like, oh, va va voom during the seduction scene. But it was just
but that helps,
great. It did help. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, maybe I would still say yes, even though I was treating them for an STI. Oh God. Oh, I'm dreadful. But no, very, very funny. Very, very funny. Very, very much the best thing about the whole film. Yeah. And just stole every single scene that she was in. This really over the top kind of European accent that she had, and even like costumes she was in, the Va-Va-Voom costume, but not even all of the makeup, all of it. It's like it's it's like when you go and see a particularly bad like amateur dramatics piece, and there's one good actor in the show, and everyone's shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it seems like they've spent a lot of time with this person, and everyone's just like, don't worry about it, just whatever, just do whatever. Yeah. Which I think, probably says how bad the film is, really. But she's brilliant. If anything, watch this film for her performance alone. I'd like to see Deborah Reed, her, and the actress that played Frankenhooker doing some sort of double team comedy action movie. Yeah.
Like, wonder where you was going when you said double team. Just been talking about the sexual health clinic, David. Calm down.
Although, as Frankenhooker,
they've both got gonorrhea.
As Frankenhooker and as the Goblin Queen, that shouldn't be doing what it's doing to me right now.
I don't know that it's doing it to you in my presence.
It's not doing, but that'd be hilarious. The two of them acting their socks off, doing physical comedy, over the top comedy. Oh, yeah. Right, I mean, I know these films are they're both from 1990. These films, but go back in time, get me a time machine. I'm going back and I'm contacting them, being like, I've got an idea.
Just need a DeLorean and a flux capacitor.
Yeah, I just need a flux capacitor and some banana skins to feed it. That'll do it. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So yes, so where do we want to go to next?
So I actually had another actor.
Oh, go on, yeah.
But. So the guy in the shop who gives one of the boys some milk, I don't know what his name was. I don't know if I write the names down.
Yeah,
what was his name?
Oh, what was his name? So Don Packard. He's just down as a drugstore owner.
Yes. So he is just completely crazy. Which I was like, oh, he's playing this really well. And then you said to me, actually, I think he's got quite a lot of mental health issues.
Well, that's the thing. I
was like, is it actually acting then, or is that just him?
Yeah, so I did read a I can't find it now, but I did read, where is it? I read something about the actor playing him. He watched the film back several years later and said, actually, I was going through like a lot of serious issues with myself at that point. And he said, watching that film back, he can recognise those issues that he was having in his performance, because there are moments where he's you would say he's acting crazy as the part, but actually, I think he was. Yeah. And it does. But the thing is, though, if I hadn't read that, you would think, wow, the acting, this guy supporting cast is really giving it his all as some sort of like goblin in human form wanting to eat people. Yeah. It was where did I read that? I don't know if I read it in the trivia for the movie. I think I read it separately. I can't remember where it was. But it was I thought it was a really interesting point. Okay, so we've both had our best actors, etc. Where are we looking at now?
I've got a good prop.
Oh yeah, go on. Let's have a look at a good prop.
So when the family first get to the house, they're swapping with another family, aren't they?
Yes.
So they get to this house and the other family is still there. They're just leaving as they get there. Mm-hmm. And as they're leaving, the boy from the other family throws a ball at Josh.
Oh, yeah.
And then he looks down at it and it's got a message on the ball and it says, "Eat before we eat you." Which makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, technically it does. Oh. Because, and the only reason I say technically it does is because the family have laid out food for them on the table.
Oh, because and they need them to eat the poisonous stuff.
To turn into plants, to then be eaten. But why would you
say that to them on a ball?
Exactly. I think that's the issue with it.
Why would you give them a clue that something is going strange here, like something's going to happen? So that made no sense whatsoever to warn them,
eat,
that we're going to kill you.
So that we
and also the instruction of eat. It's like somebody giving you a drink with poison in it and saying, make sure you drink this. Are you going to drink this? Drink it all. Make sure you don't leave any. Like, it's so obvious. Like, why are you so insistent I drink this drink? Like, but anyway, finish that drink, David, because make sure you finish all of it.
Just to pick up my drink. Is it because you've put like some sort of heavy metal and it's sunk to the bottom in there?
It's got a poison in it that will kill you instantly. You'll be dead in 5 minutes.
Oh, god damn it. It's anthrax, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought you were adding sugar.
Yeah, I just liked the ball because I thought it doesn't make any sense, and I like things like that in these sorts of movies. Yeah. And then the other thing, which I'm counting as a prop, because I guess it is kind of a prop. So at the end, the mum of the family is mulched down, and the goblins are all eating her.
Oh yeah.
But there's definitely a pair of boobs. So this is just it's a prop of like a torso.
Yes.
But it is all kind of, I don't really know how to describe it when they turn into vegetation, but it is kind of like, I'll tell you what it looks like sometimes is when you leave a cucumber in the fridge too long and it goes manky and then it all mulches down into green mush. Oh, it's like that.
Yeah. We've all left a cucumber in the fridge.
We've all done it,
long.
and it's disgusting, isn't it? Yeah. But it's kind of like that, and then, but this torso is like, they've left like 2 mounds on there. Yeah. Definitely, but it just looked hilarious.
The thing is, as well, it's a PG-13 movie, effectively.
Yeah.
But it's like they've snuck some like fake boobs into it here. It's like no one will notice. Yeah. Because I was like, is that boobs? Yeah. And normally I'm good at spotting those. Oh my god, boobs! I'm very base. What can I say? Fava voom. Yeah. Right. So. Now, I have good deaths and good lines now. Okay. But I don't know if I want to talk about good death because it might be what you want to talk about, where the Arnold, who's a plant now. I don't know if you want to talk about that as a good scene, or do you want to talk about that as a bad scene? Yeah, I have got that as a scene, a good scene, okay. Yeah. Because I specifically, talking about his death, I thought was really funny. Yeah, I think... if you want to talk about his scene... Let me talk about his scene, and then we'll see if that leads to your notes about the death. But so it's Arnold, is it, that's turned into, he's like half plant, he's in the pot. Yes, that's right, it's Arnold. And then who's the friend that comes and sees him? It is I'm trying to think. The friend that comes to get him, it's either Brett or Drew, I think. Okay, so Brett/Drew come to they discover Arnold he's stood in a plant pot, and he is half human, half plant. Mm-hmm. And he's desperately trying to talk, but he's got bark all over his mouth because like half his face is covered in bark, and he's just kind of making these noises, and then they rip the bark off of his mouth, and he's like, "Get me out of here!" Yes. So there's this really funny bit where the other guy just kind of tries to drag the plant pot across the floor really slowly, but it's obviously really heavy. And so he's just like kind of dragging it along, and he's kind of jolting about all over the place in this pot. And it's just a really good like piece of physical comedy because it is like something out of a comedy sketch. It's not, you can't it's like an escape scene, like let's get out of here, but his feet are in a plant pot, he can't move. So he's just like dragging this plant pot really slowly across the floor, and I really like that. I thought that was really funny. It was so daft, it really was. And the fact that he's standing there with this, like, he's just like a plant now. Yeah, he literally can't move. He can't run. He can't move. So he's just got to drag this really heavy. I mean, it's a big plant pot with a human in it. Yeah, so it's going to be heavy, and like soil, and it's going to be heavy. Yeah. So it's not like you're not making a quick escape. And then what's he going to do? Drag him all the way to safety? Like, you might try to drag him out the door, but then what are you going to do? Yeah. Bearing in mind as well that this fella that's dragging him is also in the process of dying because he's drank this milk. Oh yes. That was sold to him by the drugstore owner or whatever, and he's drinking this goblin milk, so he's poisoned, and he's trying to drag him along, and he's not long for this world either. That's how he died, I remember, because he eventually gets turned into mulch and eaten. So yeah. Now when this is happening, we have, because this does perfectly lead into my good death that I've got. Yeah. our druid friend, our queen of the goblins, she turns up and stops the escape. And she is basically telling Arnold he was a bad boy, effectively. And now what she's going to do is she's going to chop him down with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
So she's doing all this great overacting with the chainsaw, and you're going to take him down. But she says to him, "Oh, don't worry. It's when you humans chop down trees, it's like it you won't even feel it. It will feel like a tickle kind of thing."
Yeah.
So she starts chopping him down, and you've got this chainsaw going, and she's cutting away at him, and you can hear, and he's going, "Oh, oh," like it is actually tickling.
Yeah.
But yeah, she chops him down. He dies. That's the end of Arnold. And I just thought it was like, I was expecting him to be like going, screaming.
Yeah, but no, he's just giggling.
Actually,
yeah.
And
it's not a bad way to go, giggling, is it?
No, it's not.
You know, he's not in pain.
If you're not going to feel it, and
yeah.
it's actually a pleasant way if you die by tickling with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
But that screamed to me of like a scripting issue, you know, where they're like,
yeah,
it's going to feel like a tickle, when actually, no, it's not supposed to feel like a tickle. She's going to say, "Don't worry, it will feel like it tickles," and it doesn't. It's absolute agony.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, no, it says tickle in the script, so yeah, we'll make it that it tickles." Yeah. I just thought,
yeah,
I think someone just got the wires crossed and were like, "Oh yeah, they must actually mean tickle, so we'll do it like a tickle."
Yeah, I mean, I've never known a chainsaw to tickle, but
no, not particularly.
But it's also a movie called Troll 2 and it's Goblins, so anything can, you know, they make their own rules, don't they?
Exactly. Right. I've only got some good lines left. What have
I've got another good scene.
Oh, go ahead.
Actually, I've got two, but you kind of covered the other one.
Oh, did I?
One of them is when the witch goes to the motorhome to seduce the last boy.
Oh.
She takes corn on the cob as a snack, which is a weird snack to take.
Yes, if we want to talk about that scene more, I'm more than happy to go into detail.
So she turns up to seduce him with a corn on the cob, which is like the weirdest snack you would take anyway. And then he says he prefers popcorn, and she says, "No problem, we just need to heat it up." So they start eating it from each side. They're like, yeah. They're both on one side of it, and then all of a sudden, like, their passion has heated it up, and there's popcorn just flying everywhere, shitloads of the stuff, and it's like one corn on the cob. Yeah. And then he just drowns in the popcorn. And but it's a ridiculous scene, but I thought it was really good.
I know, I understand. Look, you get a load of popcorn kernels, like corn kernels, and you end up with like loads of popcorn. It just
okay,
but
not that much.
But not that much,
no.
Not that much. And even later, I mean, he's lying there on the bed, like popcorn coming out of every orifice. It's like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. But I think probably my favourite scene.
Aye.
Is it my favourite? I don't know. Yeah, possibly. I did like the guy in the plant pot. Yeah. But when they first get to the house and they're about to eat the food with all the green stuff on it.
Yes.
And the granddad appears to Josh, the little boy, and he tells him to stop them, or they'll end up like Pete in the story.
Yeah, that's
Peter
right.
Peter in the story. And he clicks his fingers, and they all freeze. Now this is 1990, so they haven't got all the camera trickery and special effects they've got now. So you know, like on something like I think.
Well, they do in the 90s,
but they don't use it.
Yeah.
So they literally, the actors all sit there still, and they do a bloody good job, because I didn't see one of them blink at all. There's a couple of little tiny wobbles.
Yes.
Which, you know, they are. It is hard to stay completely still.
And what's happened as well is they're paused in like the moment of like about to put
food in their mouth,
or take a drink, so they're holding stuff.
Yeah. So it's quite impressive how still they stay.
Absolutely.
And then the camera just sort of pans around to each of them, and they're doing a really good job, I think.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you as well, because Grandad Seth says I can pause time for you for 3 seconds. You've got 3 seconds.
3 seconds. Yeah. Okay.
How long is this scene actually paused for?
Oh, it's ages. Yeah.
It's so long.
It's definitely more than 3 seconds.
Definitely.
So yes, they're all frozen in time, and he's got to think of a way of stopping them eating this food.
Yes.
So Josh decides. So we just see him like go for his zipper, don't we?
Yeah.
And he decides that we don't actually see him do it, but you see his dad march him upstairs afterwards. But you get the impression he's peed on the food, so they can't eat it. Must have peed on. There was quite a lot of food there. Must have peed quite a lot on everything.
He was hosing the whole place down.
So then his dad takes him upstairs because he's like, right, you're going straight to bed, like punishment. And his dad says a really weird thing when he puts him to bed.
Are you gonna? This
is that one of your lines?
I've got this as a good line. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but if you want to say it because it's a good line, it's fine. Go on.
He says, I'm having to put my belt up one notch tighter to stop the hunger pains, and your mum and sister will have to do the same. And I've just put what? How does that stop hunger pains? Putting your belt up a notch.
No, that's again. I think this is a translation issue, isn't it? It's like them going. Well, we're going to have to pull our belts in because, we're going to lose weight because we're so hungry. But the dad then also goes on to say, I know what hunger's like, so I'm used to this. But your mother and your sister, they won't, mate, you're going without food for one night. It's not the end of the world.
You're not going to die.
You'll be absolutely fine. It's not hunger fucking inducing that bad.
No.
Wake up in the morning, go to the shop, get some bacon and eggs. Get that down you.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Exactly. Well, then if they go to the shop though in Nilbog, it's all going to be the green shit.
It is all going to be the green shit.
And it's all going to be poisonous.
The thing is, they're on a farm.
Oh yeah.
It's a farmstead that they're on. So there's no animals on this farmstead though, because what are the goblins going to do? Be farming animals for meat animal products, which they're not going to eat.
Or unless they give the animals the green stuff and then they can eat the animals, maybe. Does it work on animals or just humans? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Or have they just got a staple diet of humans? I don't know if they eat cows and stuff. Who knows?
They've only got themselves like 4 humans feed the whole town, so there must be a good supply of humans coming to this town.
Yeah, there must have.
But that wasn't actually my good line. Sorry.
Oh, okay. What was your good line?
But it does happen at that point. It's when the dad drags the kid upstairs. He's having a right go at him. So Joshua's literally just pissed on all the goblin food, and the mum and the daughter are scraping all the food into the bin.
Yeah.
And as the dad is dragging Joshua up the stairs, he says to him, "You don't piss on hospitality." No, you don't. No. You're absolutely right. You don't piss on hospitality. But I was just like, who says that? You don't piss on hospitality.
It's just talking nonsense. But like you say, it's the script, isn't it? Yeah. There's a lot of things you don't piss on, but yeah. Do we need a list for this kid?
Yeah. Oh, that made me chuckle so much. It really did. Sorry, I was looking at my lines there. Do we want to go into lines now?
Yeah, go into lines. Yeah.
So I've got another good line. I'm going back to our dear friend Arnold who got turned into a tree.
Yeah.
This is one of the most classic lines in all of bad movie history.
Okay.
So obviously, Arnold meets this random blonde woman in the forest who's being chased by the goblins. Okay.
Yeah.
And they are in this house that belongs to the Goblin Queen, and she's dying. She's being turned into this mulch, and the goblins are eating her. And Arnold is seeing this unfold in front of him, and it's the most wooden said line in all of cinematic history.
Yeah.
And he goes, "They're eating her, and then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!" Like that.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. I love it so much. It's such a classic bad line.
Yeah.
So wonderful. I'm pretty sure in the years that I've known you, I am sure I've sent you a clip of that. If I haven't, I'm a terrible friend, because it's brilliant. I love it so much.
I mean, I can't remember it, but I'm sure you probably have if it's that iconic.
I know. Nestled in some of the crap I've sent you over the years, it's got to have been in there. I do have another good line.
Okay.
I've got. Well, I've got two more good lines. No, I've already said Joshua that he pissed on the food. You don't piss on hospitality. They're eating her, then they're going to eat me. Oh my God. Oh, this one, and this made us sing. Do you remember this?
No.
We were literally just singing it. So
were we?
Yeah. So Holly.
I got my memory.
Sees Grandpa Seth.
Yeah.
Like late on in the movie, and she's like, "Oh my God!" Like she sees him, and she's like, "Oh my God, I just saw Grandpa Seth." And Joshua goes, "You see, it wasn't me this time." This time, and then we both went.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry. Oh, but it was so weird. It just came out of nowhere. Yeah. You see, it wasn't me this time. What happened with your accent?
I don't know.
What's going on? And I wonder if was that the inspiration for
that song.
I
don't know. When did that song come out? This was 1990.
After Trolls 2.
Yeah.
What's the line in the song again?
It's Troll 2.
What was the line in the song again? Don't waste your
time on me.
I'm on. Yeah, because we were like.
My voice inside your head. Yeah. Who sang that?
Blink 182, wasn't it? Yeah. It wasn't some 41.
Oh, okay.
Blink 182?
I'm not sure.
Oh, God. Am I going to have to look that up?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up. Blink 182. Yeah, I'm sure it was Blink 182. What's the name of the song? Don't waste your time.
I don't know.
Sorry, no. Don't waste your time. I'm going to have to Google "Don't Waste Your Time on Me." Oh my God, all I'm getting is the Kelly Clarkson version of it.
Can you not do original? What is it called?
Blink 182.
Oh, it is Blink 182.
I Miss You.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Yes, of course it's that.
Yeah.
I was never a Blink 182 fan, but that's just such a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think we missed half of the film because we sang that song.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know many of the words, but we had a go.
Yeah, we did have a go. But yeah, I think that's it for me for good stuff.
I've got some special effects.
I've
got one special effect. Sorry, I got the others are bad.
Yeah.
So when the girl in the woods, she turns to like cucumber mulch.
Cucumber, yeah.
It just looks good how she kind of melts into the floor. It's another good physical effect.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So I suppose it is special effects, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the way they make her look like she's melting or mulching down into the ground.
Yeah. Good practical effect.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it really was.
It was quite good. It was quite effective.
Yeah.
So I quite liked that, but yeah, that's the only one I've got. Sorry, I thought I had a list, but they're bad, the other ones.
Yeah, I've got a few bad bits as well. Yeah.
Which just means the flip side will be good.
Well, the flip side will be bad.
The flip side will be so bad it's good.
Oh, yeah, boy. And if you want to hear the flip side, come and join us on www.patreon.com/ICBadMovies.
Only $3 a month. It's nothing.
It's nothing. $3 a month to hear us reprobates yap on.
And who knows what tangents we'll go off on.
Oh my goodness.
That's always unpredictable.
I remember editing our Frankenhooker Flipside episode. Wow. What a tangent. What a 30-minute tangent.
I think we had a bit of a,
We had a bit of a rant because
on that one.
Some people needed to be ranted about on that one. They really did need to be ranted on. All right, shall we score this film?
Do we want to say what we would do to improve this movie?
Oh, yeah. What would we do to improve it?
I don't know what I would do, though, in this one.
I think I'd put it through a script editor.
Yeah, the script could definitely... I'd totally agree with you there. The script could definitely do with a brush up.
Yeah. I like the fact that the trivia about the film is basically saying the cast said to the film writers, can we maybe ad-lib these lines a little bit to make them feel more natural?
Yeah.
And they were distinctly told no.
And I actually think that when people ad-lib in movies, it's quite often the best lines and the best scenes.
Yeah.
When they get a bit of creative freedom, that tends to be the best way.
Nothing untowards against like script writers.
No. But I mean, it's more natural that way because in a conversation, what you lack sometimes in movies is when people. We always say about it. We do it with this ums and ahs and forgetting what you said or like repeating yourself, or that's what doesn't come across as natural in a movie. Is you don't have a perfectly flowing conversation with saying exactly what you mean. You sometimes stumble on words or go, oh, I can't, what's the word I'm thinking of? Or it's not just smooth, is it? So I think when people then ad-lib, it's a much more natural conversation that they're having. They're kind of just getting into character and going, well, this is what I would say as this character. So I do think that's important in movies. And actually, a lot of the time when I think something's a really good scene, I then find out later on, oh, that was improvised, that scene. and that's why it's so good. I think
one of my favorite lines in a movie. Well, maybe I would say favorite lines in a movie ever is Paul Rudd standing in front of a mirror, practicing chatting up a really attractive woman. Yeah. He's like, I got dick.
You're going to take that dick. Is it that what that's from?
It's that one it's from, yeah.
You're
going to take that dick. I think it's probably one I sent you. It's like, honestly, you've got to see this scene. It's hilarious.
Every now and then, I'll just be washing up or something and it comes into my head, you're going to take that dick. And I'm like, why? And why is this in my head?
And it's all him just like standing in front of a mirror and being like, just be stupid.
There's also another movie with, I can't remember which movie it is, but it's Melissa McCarthy, Paul Rudd, and I can't remember the other actress's name, and they're at like a principal's office or something in a school. I don't know what the movie is. Oh my god, yes. And that is all I've seen, like the outtakes of it, but that is improvised. She just goes off on one calling this head teacher.
This is 40.
It might be,
I think.
But Melissa McCarthy is just insulting the head teacher. Yeah. But she just goes off on one and gets really into it, and then there's just like bloopers of Paul Rudd just losing it and pissing himself laughing because she just really goes for it.
Absolutely love Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
She's so funny. She is absolutely brilliant. And I know some people might think she's just very twee or whatever, but I will watch any movie with her in.
Yeah.
I think she's hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. Yeah. And that ad-lib
But that sort of scene is brilliant if it's ad-libbed because you don't know what's coming out. No, like, you don't even know what you're going to come out with in that situation. Yeah. So, and some of the insults she comes up with are just brilliant. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. The script let this down because, it wasn't natural and they could have done with a bit of improvisation and a bit of just make it a bit more human. It was very, the way it was written wasn't great, was it?
It wasn't, and I think that also meant that the actors became very wooden because they weren't invested in the lines they were saying.
It wasn't necessarily flowing either. Yeah, because it's not. I think if it's not your first language, it's not going to be conversational and flowing. It's going to be very much like I said. If I was to do something in Spanish, it would be, we go to shops, we like bananas. It'd just be like, there'd be no like slang. There'd be no, it wouldn't feel like a conversation. It wouldn't feel flowing. It would just be like very.
Yo compra leche.
Yeah, it would just be like,
I buy
Donde está?
I buy goblin milk. Yeah, it would be. You're not, and absolutely, don't get me wrong, I'd never be able to write a script in a different language.
No.
I just wouldn't be able to.
No.
But neither do I think I'd turn around and go, you know what, even though it's not my first language, I'm not going to take some guidance on it.
Yeah, you would take some. You would take guidance on it.
I think you'd have to.
So yeah, I agree with you. I think that's probably what I would do to improve it as well.
Yeah. Otherwise, everything else perfect.
Yeah. Spot on.
Spot on movie. I'd probably also not call it Trolls 2.
Yeah. It was called Troll 2. It wasn't even called Trolls.
Oh, sorry,
plural.
Troll 2. It's
so
Troll 2.
That's my other issue with it. I suppose they couldn't call it Trolls 2 because the original was called Trolls. Yeah. And it's too much of a, you're trying to make this look like a sequel. Yeah. But it wasn't just one singular troll. It was several of them. So that doesn't make any sense either.
No, absolutely it doesn't.
And also they weren't even trolls.
And do you know what, Emma? Do you know what?
Yeah.
There's a sequel to Troll 2.
Yeah, I think you might have looked this up while we were watching it, didn't you?
I did look it up while we were watching it. The guy that plays the dad, George Hardy, is in a movie from 2019 called Under Control. And it is officially a sequel to Troll 2.
Under Control.
I know. And have we done our sequel season yet?
No.
I don't know.
Lucky for you, we haven't.
It is available on Prime Video.
Okay.
So at one point, we are going to get ourselves a sequel season to the movie.
Yes.
Watching the sequels to some of the movies we've seen.
I mean, to be fair, we could probably do a couple of seasons of that because we've got enough movies.
Yeah, we've got loads of movies. It's just, I mean, oh God, honestly, how good would it be to have a Poltergeist sequel?
It's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
But then I think Poltergeist is perfect. You don't mess with perfection. And if you have a sequel of something that's great,
but come on,
the pressure on that sequel.
Godfather Part 2. Come on, The Godfather 2 was amazing.
Sometimes people get it right, but there's a lot of cases where.
And yes,
the
I am
sequel
comparing
is
Poltergeist to
Yeah.
Godfather.
I thought you were. I mean, it's up there with, same.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
Same sort of calibre of film. Poltergeist you couldn't improve on, so it would be disappointment of a sequel, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd get it as funny.
I do remember you saying that if we wanted to improve on Poltergeist, it'd be like, yeah, they die at the end. Do you remember?
No, I said that. Yeah, I said that he would be turned into one of the Poltergeists.
Yes.
So he would join their little, because they were around for like 700 years, so he's fine.
No,
he was dead, but he's lived in afterlife for like 700 years.
Give him a little
bit.
Which
actually, no, that's not what I'd want. I wouldn't want that. I'd rather just live a normal life and then die and be gone than live 700 years in the afterlife.
I don't know.
It's like, a long time.
It's a long time, but like, especially if you're stuck in the one place, like they're stuck in the house. If I could live, I could come back when I died and spend 700 years on Earth, but be able to roam the Earth, that'd be great. I'd love that.
Well, for 700 years?
Yeah, just think of the things you could watch and do.
I feel tired now.
You could go you could go to London, right?
Yeah.
And you could go and watch any live performance you want as a ghost. Just be like, oh, that's great. I couldn't afford the tickets to see this live, so there you go. Brilliant. I'd like to also be able to eat.
Yeah, you might best do that.
I wouldn't be able to do that as a ghost. That'd be the one problem. Because I'd be like, oh, great, I can go to this restaurant and eat something. No, I can't eat it.
No.
If I could pick it up and
watch
just
other
pretend,
people eat it, which would be
that'd
so
be the worst
sad.
thing as well. Maybe picking it up and being able to put it in my mouth and just not being able to taste it.
Yeah.
No, just kill me off. Just kill me off.
Yeah.
No, if I can't eat, that's it. I'm done. Right, what are we going to score Troll 2?
I think.
How many goblins out of 5?
I'm going to go 3.5 goblins.
3.5 goblins. Interesting.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that's because, although I have got some quite a few good things, I have got a few bad things down here.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. It was good and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
It's not up there with my favourite.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not in my top 5. So I think 3.5 is fair.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think I was sitting around about the 4 mark as well. It's not a perfect bad movie.
No.
But there's enough bits in it that kept me entertained.
Yeah.
And there's enough bad bits in it that were...
Yeah.
That made it a good bad movie to keep you entertained as well. So in terms of a good bad movie, I think it's a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave it with a 4 stars out of 5 for Troll 2. Although all episode I've been calling it Trolls 2, I understand that, and I apologise, but I'm not giving it an extra star to apologise. No, it's still only a 4.
That wouldn't be
4
right.
out of 5. All right, so. What we're going to do now is you can join us all on the flip side, because we're going to go record and talk about all the bad bits of Troll 2 and get that all out of the way. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.